Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be getting into game two here between Soniqs and, of course, Thunder Awaken. Jonathan, we are back here. And, of course, as you saw in game one, Thunder Awaken pulling off game one in quite a decisive fashion. I mean, quite frankly, I want to say it wasn't even close. There was just so much aggression coming out, the way we love to watch Dota. And I got to ask you straight off the bat, where did it all go wrong for the side of Soniqs? Well, what happened? Was it a drafting issue? Was it an execution issue? What went wrong, John?
I would say it was a little bit in the draft. Like having a Marcy and having a Bane as your support duo to follow through for your Pango just didn't feel like it was enough, along with having Razor and your Luna. So there was no real team fight to kind of orient yourself with outside of the Rolling Thunder from Quinn. And Quinn was trying to get work done, but it wasn't the easiest game to kind of go for the grips here for Fata. MSS was getting some decent disposes off. His lane with Leslau was pretty good, but not enough to kind of overwhelm and Thunder Awaken once they hit that certain margin there, that certain point where they were ready to run around as five. They just ran around as five, and you didn't have presence coming out from Soniqs. Like their draft was just not kitted out to take that same pace of 5-on-5 as Thunder Awaken did. So they had two options. Either they just bail out, sacrifice supports, try to farm up in the forest, but Thunder Awaken had such little downtime under spell set, even if you tried to play that way, they would just immediately smoke up and hunt again. So there's no real way for Soniqs to kind of adapt with the draft they had on hand.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty rough affair at the least. And I suppose it might be necessary to really have a draft that can be aggressive against a team like Thunder Awaken, right? Because if they're going to be running at you nonstop like that, you may as well be prepared for it. And I suppose with the draft that they did have, I mean, I suppose in some sense they were prepared, but it just didn't seem like it. Not with the fights and the way they were going. Shout out to Alone as well, Jonathan. I mean, on the mid Zeus, obviously a stand-in for Thunder Awaken right now. Couldn't help but notice. I was looking at Twitter. I believe it was Moxie who actually made a tweet about Thunder Awaken and how well they performed in game one. Thunder Awaken tweeted back saying, "This man's a free agent." Now, look, I know we've only seen one game so far, you and I, of Thunder Awaken here during the Major, John, but a 17-year-old prodigy from SA that's still a free agent. I mean, how does that happen?
Who knows? Who knows why this happens sometimes? But there you go. Anyone listening in, post major, Alone is still looking for a team, unless Thunder Awaken takes him. But I don't know if they'd actually replace Dark Mago for that. So probably not. There's team dynamics to think about, but it's looking good for Thunder Awaken and definitely a good mark for this young player here. So we'll see. Good things lying ahead. But of course, before talking big like this, Thunder Awaken's got to find this win here. They've got to climb up in the major. It's looking good so far, but they've still got a lot to claw through here in the group stage. So still have to get through Sonic, still have to get through everyone else as well. And they've got to keep their heads in the game here, Mike.
Absolutely. I mean, now that we've kind of praised Alone for the performance in game one, chances are it's not going to be a great performance in game two, knowing our caster curses, Jonathan. But let's see if the man can fight our curse, then he's probably going to be doing pretty well for himself in this Dota career of his. As we should be going into the draft relatively soon. Game is certainly going to get underway very, very soon, Jonathan. Anything in particular you thought Thunder Awaken did exceptionally well during that game one? Like anything that the side of Sonic should be really concerned about going into this game two draft?
I think the Sacred Timbersaw was actually way too much to handle. Like we were talking about not seeing Timbersaw do so well when we saw Beast Coast play Sacred, just managed to make it look really good in that game. He hit some early timings. They had a decent enough lane where they left him solo, and you kind of saw the same issues Beast Coast had to handle when they left Whisper solo, right? Like they try to rotate on the Tiny. They don't find the best time usage there, but Sacred knew when to join in on that. He came in onto that mid, just played aggressive, they had this really big frontliner that they couldn't handle. So I'm keen to see if that's something Sonics will ban, as we will jump into the draft now. With
5 seconds remaining.
last time around, I remember the cadence of Thunder Awakening's pick and
Thunder
bans.
Predators
They like
turn to
blitz
ban.
through
Quincy
the first
Cruz
few bans,
turn to
blitz through the
ban.
picks, slow down in the secondary bans, blitz through their next picks, and they kind of slow down in the last few bans. It was just snap, snap, snap from Thunder Awaken. So I'm keen to see if that happens again.
I mean, it may just. It was a Snap Viper ban, but I suppose it's not too hard to ban out a hero like Viper
Thunder
in the current meta.
Predators turn to
Sonics,
ban.
again,
Quincy
going to go for the
Cruz
Weaver ban
turn
as
to
well. So
ban.
nothing changing too much, but Thunder Awaken back into the Puck ban for Quinn. Just not wanting to hand that hero over to the man. Sonics. Can't remember exactly what their second ban was last game around. I want to say Dawnbreaker, but I could be misremembering.
10 seconds
Regardless,
remaining.
I'll have a bit of a think about this one.
5 seconds remaining.
It's kind of difficult though, because are you going to give something like the Timber back over to Thunder Awaken after a game that they just had?
Thunder Predators turn to
No.
pick.
There you go. Ban it out. Get rid of it. Sacred had way too good of a
Quincy
game.
Cruz
It's a
turn to
menacing
pick.
front line, but they just go back for the Zeus. So sure, you take away the Timbersaw, but alone Zeus was pretty damn scary, and he had a really good time up against Quinn on the Pango. I don't know if this is better or worse. I feel like if I had to pick my poison here, Mike, I probably would have banned
10
the Zeus over the
seconds
Tim.
remaining.
That's fair. See what they do go for right after the
5
Zeus, though.
seconds
Sonic
remaining.
still. First pick for them now. It's not guaranteed to be a mid Zeus either. That's the annoying part about Zeus in this meta, right? Is ever since that Heavenly Jump came along and got buffed up, this hero can just kind of do anything it wants now.
Quincy Cruz
Maybe not so much
turn
pos
to
1,
pick.
but or pos
Templar
3, but
Assassin.
regardless, you can still run it as a support as well as a mid laner. Sonics, very early TA pickup. Another kind of flex pick because you can run it into the mid lane and you can run it as a safe lane, but well, chances are it's going to be very obvious it's a core hero here for Sonics. And a very
10
early
seconds
pickup at that.
remaining.
Not very often you see a first pick TA.
5
Yeah,
seconds
it's an
remaining.
interesting play out from Sonics. Maybe
Thunder
again,
Predators
just
turn to
confident
pick.
for Zeus versus TA. It's a matchup that could be one way. Trying to think about that one. I guess you could try to bully. Zeus does have pretty good right click from range. It will take a few levels for the side blades. Refraction, not the easiest
10
for Zeus to
seconds
melt, so you can
remaining.
play durability there. I'm not sure because Thunder
5
Awaken now have a
seconds
lot of room.
remaining.
They love Venomancer as well. Like they have played a lot of Veno on Thunder Awaken's end. So I know we're not the biggest fans of that hero, Mike, but it's tough against TA.
Don't
You
do
know,
it.
you could just go Venomancer here, Thunder Awaken.
It's a trap. Don't do it. Don't ever
You
do
could
it,
go
John.
Razor too. Right?
I
Like
mean, look,
Razor's still on the pool too.
let's be fair though. The Venom from Beast Coast yesterday, once you get the eggs up, it was pretty ridiculous. Like how much damage you got to deal with that. So, maybe I wouldn't mind the Venom here. All right, I'll give you that, John. Against the TA, it might do some good work. Thunder Awaken, surprisingly enough, actually going to think about their second pickup this time around. What do they want? I suppose the snap picks that they would have loved to pick up, not really there for them at the moment, being the Tiny and perhaps the Timber. They will have a think about
Thunder
where they want this
Predators
draft to
turn
go.
to bat.
It's going to be the Bat Rider, which is
Okay.
another great way of dealing with the TA.
Yeah, and you've got the flexibility here. We've seen Sacred play that
Quincy
before.
Cruz
Alone
turn
could
to
still run it
bat.
mid. So they can kind of adapt to what Sonics might want to do with that TA in lane and just track it down. Sonics, for their part, you still have some options on kind of getting a Dispel on hand. Abaddon could be one way to get that done to save. Venge is an option with swap.
10 seconds
Oracle a
remaining.
lot less meta, but you could maybe fit it in. Like
5
anything with a
seconds
Dispel could be
remaining.
really good to save you from Bat Rider. Heck, even an argument could be made for, say, a Tusk with Snowball save. So you could lean towards Venge or Tusk. I don't know if you really want to prioritize that, but considering what you have on hand right now, it does feel like a pretty good Bat Rider game. Like there is always a toss back to defend from the Tiny, so that can make it slightly awkward, but it's not the biggest deal in the world for a Bat Rider to kind of deal with.
Certainly not. Not the biggest deal in the world. That being said, though, you do still have some decent Bat Rider counters if you wanted to go down that route for Sonics. Like, obviously, we are in the ban phase right now, so chances are one or two of those counters are going to be removed. But You do have heroes like Oracle and Abbott that can come in and make the Batrider's life a lot harder than it has to be. That being said, those kind of heroes, not
Thunder
exactly very
Predators
meta
turn
at
to
the moment.
ban.
So, I mean,
Mm.
maybe you wouldn't mind seeing something like an
Quincy
Abba though.
Cruz turn to
Abaddon just kind of
ban.
always seems in meta if it's against the right picks, and Batrider is certainly one of those picks.
Yeah, it really is. It can just put a big dent in what Sonics might want to do, and they are kind of taking their
10
time
seconds
on
remaining.
banouts now, considering that Thunder can really flex the bat around
5
as
seconds
well.
remaining.
I mean, we talked about alone on the Zeus. You can still run it as a support, but it is a little bit more, mm, almost like a desperation play. I mean, it's not like it's not effective, but it also falls flat in its face if it doesn't get off to a running start. So they're just accounting for that adaptability on Sonic's end or on Thunder Awaken's end, and we'll have to see if they
Thunder
think the
Predators
Batrider's
turn
that
to
big of a threat.
ban.
They ban out the Luna themselves on Sonic's end, which is interesting because if I recall right, yeah, they do play the Luna on Thunder Awaken. We used to see that a lot,
Quincy
especially when we
Cruz
were
turn to ban.
casting some BTS Pro Series in NA, I think, a couple of times. We did see them go into that a couple of times as well, but I I don't think that's a high end ban. All right, like I mean, we just saw the issues with it when you war played it.
Yeah.
And surely Sonics would also understand the shortcomings of
10
that hero.
seconds remaining.
It's an interesting one, John. Because maybe you don't
5
want an Eye of
seconds
Skadi carrier
remaining.
against the TA, but it's kind of like you can go for many other carriers that can pick up that Eye of Skadi, no problem. Yeah, interesting ban to be made here by Sonics. One more to go before we can continue these drafts. So have a bit of a think about it. Still just focusing on the core heroes here for Thunder Awaken. Anything that can kind of make the TA's life a little bit more challenging than it has to be. It's probably going to be a very good ban here for Sonics. Being said though, John, again, Batrider's already in the game, which is going to be a huge challenge nonetheless for this
Mm.
TA. So, it's all about kind of just damage control at this point. See what they do get rid of, and it was a very confident first pick TA. That's kind of what gets me from
Yeah.
Sonics, right? It's like this is going to happen where you're going to
Quincy
get
Cruz
drafted
turn
into
to
a
pick.
corner now, and they'll get rid of the dazzle. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's an interesting ban as well. I mean, they take out one of the sustain heroes. There's still a Winter Wyvern that's really good against a TA with the Winter's Curse if you really want
10
that
seconds
saving
remaining.
element, that
Thunder
sustain for your
Predators
team
turn
here.
to pick.
That could be something Thunder Awaken goes for. They go for the Enchantress here as well. So you do have the enchant on hand to kind of slow down the Batrider. That can be semi-useful. And you can be really aggressive in lane. They're
Thunder
not
Predators
revealing where they
turn
want to
to
put the
pick.
TA just yet with this. They're playing it safe. Thunder Awaken just back to the Ogre Magi once more. And that should just, again, allow Pakaz to take a nice big right-click hero. TA matchups, Terrablade's decent. Medusa's pretty good. You could go for something
10
strange like, say,
seconds
Alina's
remaining.
safe lane that we've seen like once or twice in Southeast
5
Asia. So
seconds
that
remaining.
could fit in. I actually like the sound of Alina. You've got Laguna to deal with the Ench because it's always annoying to machine gun her down. And you don't care for refraction because you hit so fast. So could be one way to get that done. There's no major threat on Alina core here for Thunder Awaken. And its tempo isn't that slow. You still kind of go for the travels, but it's like travels BKB and you're kind of set on that hero.
Fourth pick up now, Thunder Awaken. Two more calls to come, I believe. Again, you could have the mid Zeus anyway, but
Quincy
see
Cruz
what they want
turn
to do
to
here,
pick.
Thunder Awaken. They'll go for the Unlord. I mean, this is becoming an impossible game for this TA with refraction, Jonathan, isn't it? Like, it's just,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, it's like you've got a
It's
billion ways to get rid of these refraction charges.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna be fun. You know, there's some cheeky combinations
10
you can do with
seconds
Underlord
remaining.
Zeus. You can just so imagine this: you smoke
5
up, you're clumped up,
seconds remaining.
Thunder God's Wrath, and then you
Thunder
suddenly see where they
Predators
are.
turn
Dark
to
Portal
battle.
in there. You literally don't even need to guess where to move for your smoke. Just use the vision game. That's one way to get that done.
Absolutely. Still Sonics, they'll go back into a Void Spirit now, which against the Batrider, against the Zeus, either way, the Void Spirit does do a decent job. Very nice
10
escape with the Void
seconds
Spirit as well against the Batrider. Of course, you and I, we've seen plenty of times where Batrider has
5
completely
seconds
dominated the
remaining.
matchup anyway. Don't want to bring up that
Oh no.
particular name, Jonathan, because the poor guy's been
Oh,
named over and over again by us, but you know the one I'm talking about. Can,
I know.
can still go either way between this mid matchup if it is going to be a mid Batrider. Could still not be, though. Could still be a mid Zeus. It's still very open here, but it does seem like it's probably going to be a support Zeus coming out.
It looks that way. I'm trying to think if you can run Zeus, Batrider, and Underlord all as cores and last pick as support. You could try Underlord 1. That sounds fun.
Quincy
Doesn't sound
Crew's
ideal.
turn
Don't do
to
that.
ban.
I mean, it
Underlord 1. Where do you get these ideas from, John?
it's a strength hero. It has good base stats. Strength heroes are in meta right now on the pause 1.
Okay.
Good farming speed almost with Firestorm. Big
10
damage
seconds
steroid
remaining.
on his aura. It can be a 1. It's a pretty
5
bad
seconds
one, but
remaining.
it's Dota 2. Anything can
Thunder
work.
Predator's
I
turn to
guess
ban.
you're just likely running that offlane. There is no way I'm going to be seeing an Underlord 1 in this game of all games, and Batrider mids, you support, and something else for Pakaz on the safe lane.
You'd
That'd be
love
exciting
to.
there, Mike.
You're an Underlord enjoyer. I know that's what you really want. You're trying
Yes.
to come up with all
10
these
seconds
excuses as to why
remaining.
POS 1 Underlord's good, John, but I know inside you just want to see it played POS 1
5
one time.
seconds remaining.
Just one time.
I think I did try it pause 1 once, and I think I went Battle Fury.
Jesus
I
Christ.
think I
Quincy
won.
Crew's
You
turn
I
won?
to
won.
ban.
That was years ago, but yeah, I think I do believe I won that one Battle Fury game I went, which is super dumb. I don't even remember why I did it. Anyways, that's not relevant. That is very low tier. What I do want to see from Thunder Awaken with the Underlord Zeus is still smoke, group up, Thunder God's Rat,
10
Scream Ga,
seconds
and then
remaining.
just Dark Portal in. Literally, that's it. Just
5
scout out with
seconds
Thunder God's
remaining.
Rat and jump in there with a portal. All right,
Thunder
I mean,
Predator's
it's like a
turn to
horror
pick.
film. You're just not safe with that global presence. What can you do about that? Not much.
Not much,
You're just
Jonathan.
it's map hacks. Literally map hacks with map movement on Underlord. It's like that's one hell of a combo.
It certainly is, John. It certainly is.
10
Still,
seconds
final
remaining.
pickups now. The ban outs Veno was actually removed by Thunder Awaken of
5
all teams.
seconds remaining.
Soniqs, they'll get rid of the Bloodseeker themselves. POS
Quincy
1 is
Crew's
still to be picked
turn
up for
to
Thunder
pick.
Awaken. Surprise, surprise, they
Ah.
aren't going for POS 1 Underlord, sadly, John, but they do have the Pakaz Monkey King coming right back out. And why the hell not? Considering the performance he had on game 1, just run it back. Just do it again.
Yeah, and it still looks like a fairly decent
10
Monkey King
seconds
game once
remaining.
more. TA versus Monkey King matchup. Well, under
5
Wukong's
seconds
Monkey King doesn't
remaining.
care too much, so kind of works in the Monkey King's favor. BKB timing comes out, and suddenly you don't care for anything else on this lineup as well. If Soniqs does manage to get a quick, say, Ags up on Quinn here in the Void Spirit, that could be their saving grace. Just get that early
Choose your
silence off, and they
hero.
will go for the Brewmaster for Leslao. So a little bit more team fight. That's what they needed from the last game. Just more team fight. They have more options now with the Brewmaster. The lane matchup is decent enough up against the Monkey King. You can play without the Brewmaster with the Ignite and the Cinder Clap. So you have some play there. Should be able to slow down Pakaz a little bit more here.
It's going to be an interesting game number 2. I mean, I certainly like the draft here from Sonics a lot better than I liked it in game 1. The only problem is, John, it just feels like this TA is going to have such a rough game. That's my big issue, right? Like, until you have BKB, you're just going to be such a sitting duck here against Thunder Awaken. And it feels like there's going to be so much pressure here on Quinn and Leslao to
10
really,
seconds
really have some
remaining.
big impact this game number 2. And we didn't quite see that in game 1 from
5
these two,
seconds
but
remaining.
if they can kind of turn this one around and tie out this series 1-1 here against Thunder Awaken. Again, Thunder Awaken just looking very powerful after that game 1. John, before we do get this game 2 started, though, can you provide me with your insight on who you believe has the better draft?
I'd lean towards Thunder Awaken. You pointed out all the reasons why War is going to have a tough game. There's nothing to simplify that process. And it's always just going to be tough for War to stand up front. Like, the BKB is going to help if you can hit that timing. But then as a TA, you don't tend to enjoy second item BKB, but you might have to in this game. Maybe third item, Blink Dragonlance or Dragonlance Blink, and then disassembly into BKB to kind of speed up the process. That can give you more play, but I expect by that point Thunder Awaken is just going to be running all over. And again, if you consider the style of Thunder Awaken to play with here, I'm still looking forward to them using Thunder God's Wrath to scout and just running around with the dark portal on hand, the Fiend's Gate, and just get ganks and slow down your war. They did it so many times in game one. Nothing here stops that, Mike. It's still the same issue. That TA farming up, you're gonna have to keep an eye on her, otherwise she's just gonna die.
Let's see how this one goes, Jonathan. Game number 2 here. Soniqs again, backs against the wall. Needs as many points as they can right now, and looking to tie out this series here against Thunder Awaken. And Thunder Awaken, seeing if they can repeat that game 1 performance here against Soniqs.
Prepare for battle.
It's going to be very important to keep an eye on that mid lane as well, right? Like, you're not going to have the TA versus Batrider, so happy days for Soniqs, but it still could be a bit of a rough affair for Quinn. Again, this mid lane, the Void Spirit versus Bat, it really can just go either way.
Yeah, and for some reason, Laslau is telling Alone that he's lucky. I don't think that's him wishing luck. He's saying luck. So, suerte Alone. Okay. Lucky Alone. Very lucky kid.
Very, very good.
Always asking about age. Now he's saying he's lucky. Laslau, is he okay?
Not sure, Jonathan. Maybe Soniqs looking for a new mid laner, apparently, just based off the way they're talking. Oh, definitely not, John. And they've got Quinn, right? There's no... This is Quinn's team, right? It's not happening, but, you know, Laslau, maybe just trying to, you know, get some business done on the side.
One hell of a businessman, Mike, to have that in mind.
Yeah.
Look at you. Still.
Shakespearean play, Jonathan.
It's because you're living in one?
Was it? Well, kind of. Soniqs. I run into Matthew here. MSS. He's actually got the tree gram, so can't really do much. Sacred is going to move in, but he's still doing a fair bit of damage onto this Zeus. It won't matter, though. 2 for 2 bounty rune trade. Soniqs will just go ahead and take the bottom bounty runes for themselves, no problem. No contest on that side of things. And again, this game's going to be very important, right? Because you are relying on Quinn to have a very good game here. Against the Batrider, though, John, do you predict he has a good lane or a bad one?
After all the times you've seen this, Mike, I would be very biased against the Void Spirit. I don't think it's down to the player we previously saw it. It's just the nature of the matchup. It is not a very pretty matchup. There's only so much your Resonant Pulse will block from the Batrider once he has stacks up. 5 stacks on Quinn, and it's not pretty. It's really not pretty, and I don't think that gets any easier. If Quinn can dance around and land some 8 remnants, get some harassment off, it is a playable lane, but get that opportunity against a Batrider, very slim. 10 stacks up. If Alone just gets a right click, that's going to be very juicy.
Oh, it certainly will be. Alone, we're just waiting for that level 2 mark to try and get aggressive, but hope he can keep those stacks going onto Quinn and make sure he just never feels comfortable in this mid lane. Should have a look at the other lanes as well when we have a chance. Of course, top lane, MSS and Matthew are going to be kind of chasing each other down. You are going to have Sacred there on the off lane, Underlord and Yawar on the POS 1 TA. Of course, again, Yawar, he's probably going to have a bit of a rough game, so very important for him to get off to a good start during this laning phase. And, well, for now, considering the way the lane's going, seems like he's not having too many issues here against the Underlord Zeus combo. And chances are he won't run into too many issues. Like, you don't really have the greatest lockdown for Yawar in this top lane.
Yeah, I mean, you can get the value point in the pit, but that will kind of prevent you from clearing out the creep wave and just playing this farm aggressive lane. You do at least have the Lightning Bolt down the line to try to latch him onto the pit one more time, but it's kind of nebulous whether or not you really want that on the Zeus, even as support. And as long as your war farms up, you don't really care what happens. Like, MSS is giving some good space out, just running his body forward, and the wave is shoved in a bit. You are fairly happy here on Sacred, but that farm is still there for the TA.
And it is. I don't know whether they're good or bad voice lines, honestly, John. I just can't tell. I can't tell.
They're terrible.
What you came for.
Well, they're working, John. I think is the point.
Exactly.
Mid lane, Firefly is popped, but Alone seems to just want to drag the creep wave with this Firefly. In fact, he is going to turn around back onto Quinn. You do have that Dissimulate available, and it will be committed eventually as Quinn. Be okay to get himself out. Alone doesn't have anything like the Flame Break to throw out, but he is 1 creep away from that level 4 mark.
I saw
He's gonna be slightly careful here, but
has been killed.
Alone, he's gonna hold on to that skill point for now and see if he's got an opening later on.
Just gonna have to play it patient. You're
Radiant
already seeing
structures are
Alone work that
fortified.
lane really well. Quinn starting to be a little bit behind on the CS to even have Matthew kind of sniping out the bounty rune is just a little bit of a back and forth, but this is what we kind of expected here, isn't it, Mike? Void Spirit just does not have a good time.
Bottom lane, Mana, not having a good time either, but is able to back off just in the nick of time as Bakaz unable to secure the kill. Well, top lane, Sacred. Being chased down here by MSS, but it's going to drag the creep wave along with him and should be just fine to do so. No problems here for him. Still no first blood being drawn in this game, number 2, so either side able to find the openings they're looking for, but looks like bot lane is probably where most of the action's been so far. Are probably the closest to falling so far, but not quite close enough. Quinn, Alone, going at it once again. Simulate is there, Alone, sticking around, but the Aether Remnant's gonna land and Quinn will hand the tip over immediately. I've got to admit, John, I'm not sure what the idea from Alone was there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to swing around for the bounty rune and get topped up. He's very low on HP. Instead, opts to stick around, tries to go for the water rune and gets punished. So that rough start for Quinn, kind of balancing out. And you have seen the counterpoint to what we usually see with a bad rider. Quinn's now doing quite fine.
He certainly
Dire
is.
structures are
Let's see if the
fortified.
Quinn just got to keep up now on the Void Spirit and just overtake the Bat Rider. Bot lane, Leslau being chased down here on the Brewmaster, maybe in a spot of bother. They will land the Ignite eventually, and Leslau will try to run, but Matthew going to cut him off with the heavily jump. Going to be more than enough as well, now Leslau's copping the tips here from Panda. Does seem like a bit of a friendly tip though from Panda.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams know each other very well. 2-for-1 start, slightly favoring side of Thunder Awaken. The difference isn't that big. It's a slight net worth lead for Quincy, for Soniqs, sorry, as they are still getting a lot more on their TA. It feels like UR is off to a much better start, and finds Sacred as well. So, the TA, again, in stark contrast to his Luna in first game, this should go off to a much better time now, although down mid.
Yeah, Alone, again caught out of the Bat Rider. This time he does have the help of Quinn. Has he gone too far? Tips her out Alone to return the favor. And it's a team effort, Quinn. He's confident with the tips. Sparta, he was trying to move in and help out as well. He might find Matthew, but he is going to drop. Alone suddenly with a double kill on the Bat Rider, and that's certainly going to help him recover after handing that first blood over to Quinn. Quinn on the Void Spirit, again, you're still against Bat Rider. You've got to be careful.
Yeah, you can't afford to go all too far out. Regen up top, but MSS is there to cut off. We're not going to have that juicy little bottle for Arona.
Oh, could be a counter tip coming, John. Quinn, Ancient Remnant is going to land, but now the lasso's out. The Bat Rider, he'll drag Quinn right back, but Alone, dropping way too low, trying to duke him out, but can't quite do so. Quinn's fine. They even saved the regen rune for him. And suddenly Alone goes down immediately after Quinn respawns.
Yeah, just playing tag a bit too hard. MSS in the right spot at the right time to intercept. No vision out from Thunder Awaken to kind of anticipate that. And one good news for Thunder, though, is that it's opening up the side lanes, and that does allow Bakaz to kind of build up on that Monkey King in relation to Yawar. Already off at number 1 in net
Dire's
worth.
top tower
Everyone
is
else
under
from Thunder
attack.
Awaken is getting the lower end here in exchange, though. Sacred off to a little bit slower of a start, going for the Atos, and build up for the Travelers for Alone. It's just been bouncing back and forth because of these exchanges. So overall, I think it's a much better start for Soniqs in comparison to game 1. They've just got to start working to the point where they can dictate the fights more and get that build up they want.
Jump in on Leslau bot lane, but now rotations are incoming. SS, there with the TP on the Tiny. I believe they had seen that though, so MSS probably not going to get the surprise jump he's looking for. 4-4 now, very slight net worth lead, the way of Soniqs. Quinn, getting down towards the bottom side. Haroon's up in 20, but he may know Matthew's around. What do you find here? Actually running into Panda, but they'll see Quinn as well. He's just not feeling comfortable on this side of the map, so we'll back off. So maybe he's just scouting out to see if there's any stacks made on the right side of the jungle.
They tried to catch out Bakas as well down bot. He does manage to swing the well.
Yeah, double damage picked up here by Quinn, so he's going to try and go for the kill, but here comes Alone along with Matthew to try and turn this one around. Quinn, he will step away. MSS going to be there to try and help with the lasso. Alone, he's going to land it. Quinn might just go down and does. Dips out once again for the Void Spirit. They are really giving it the way of Quinn. Bakas will join the team fight to MSS. It'll be your Tiny gone and Fada probably not going to make it out either. No way out of this one. The cars are a double and well, Quinn, it was a nice attempt with the double damage, but there's just too many heroes around and Panda. He does a great job on the Ogre of baiting Quinn in.
And he's just been dancing around that area for such a long time. Pays off in a massive way for Thunder Awaken. They've even got some good stacks for Alone to clear out as well. And the travel's timing is going to be pretty good for our Batrider. Still a bit behind in comparison to Quinn's net worth. That, again, you don't need too much. We are looking for that aggression from Thunder Awaken, and it is starting to shape up here, which is something Soniqs has to be ready to adapt into. Like, they've got the split ready on Leslau, so more presence out from their Brewmaster this time around. Quinn's just been jumping around on that Void Spirit. Should be pretty hard to catch out that same way once more. Although you have to factor in when Sacred does show up with his Pit of Malice, that could change things. So there's still more in the tank here for Thunder Awaken that they haven't revealed just yet.
A small adjustment.
I think not Sacred. He's been very quiet this game on the Underlord, but I suppose that is kind of what the hero does right now, isn't it? Just keep farming. Eventually you'll be able to kind of abuse that Fiend's Gate. Towards the south, Quinn is going to go for a run down the river, but nobody around for him to hunt down. It's kind of that quiet aspect of the game now where both sides just willing to kind of sit back and farm for a little bit, though as I say that, Panda is going to get caught out on the Ogre. So he's a very tanky boy here and will try for a TP away, but the Primal Split ensure that they do have a stun and Panda. He will drop eventually. Mind you, you did commit Primal Split for that. And Bakas, in the meantime, he finds Fada anyway. The Sacred now. Was that his neutral item?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Thankfully. Didn't steal one away from the side of Soniqs. Overall, kind of a back and forth. It does feel slightly better for Soniqs, even though it does take the split to kill off an Ogre Magi. They are still running here.
Sacred will be just fine. He'll have a laugh as he TPs out, and see, they have no way of cancelling that TP.
Dire's bottom tower
Trying to make his way out to 8-5 now with a very slight net worth lead the way of Soniqs. Nothing really right home about here with that net worth lead. You still have to be very concerned about the fact that Kaz is just farming really darn well on this Monkey King. Completely free, and he's going to have that items up very, very soon here for Kaz. Soniqs, they just don't really have a way of slowing him down. Instead, they'll try to make sure Yuar has a good time farming himself. As you can see, just taking all these ancients away. In the meantime, the east side from Matt Fada. The tanky gank here from Thunder Awaken and does go down. Won't mind too much. He is just a pos 5 inch, but will drop nonetheless.
I like the wards coming out from Thunder Awaken. They've got really good aggressive wards once more. Watching camps, watching that top jungle, even watching the Roche. Because they are playing against a TA, have to be keenly aware of that Desolator timing. They're not to be allowing Soniqs to just find it. Still smoke out from Soniqs though. They've got the Witchblade up on Quinn. Still no blink on MSS. A little bit slower in trying to jump in on that Tiny. But as long as Quinn maybe finds an isolated hero here, they can start to find their own little pickoffs here.
He's alone there for a moment on the Bat Rider, but he's just fine to run his way out. Lane, they are having a look at Leslau. He's also going to back his way out. There's a rotation from Soniqs down towards the south, but might try for Bakas here on the Monkey King. Kind of rotations happening all across the map, as even top lane, as you can see. Lone look around himself and not going to find a target either. They are just going to try and settle for these T1 towers in the side lanes, and well, to be fair, we are 12.5 without these T1s going down yet, so has been a bit of a slower paced game in terms of objectives.
Fortified.
Here come the rotation, Soniqs. They will run right into Panda, but Nada, he does get stunned up. Leslau, right behind to try and help out as alone, is waiting for the right moment. In comes MSS now on the Tiny, and it seems like they might just have to settle for the Yoga kill. In fact, never mind that, because they've got Sacred there as well. On the Underlord, just completely trapped up, and will drop. The rotation from Soniqs this time around will pan out. Thunder Awaken, they find nothing out of it.
On the chase though.
They are, as well. Never mind, we'll hand a kill over to the way of Thunder Awaken. Ultimately, yeah, it's still a win for the side of Soniqs, but a bit of a free kill going back the way of TA.
And you got a lot of room out for Prakash to just shove in mid. He is a little bit behind in comparison to Uar. Uar has been getting a lot of economy going from that triangle that Thunder Awaken has not been as aggressive on in comparison to game 1. So there's a lot more breathing room here for Soniqs to kind of build up. You're seeing Uar number 1 net worth. TA Desolator not too far off now. And that's where things can get a little bit dicey for the side of Thunder Awaken. That physical output is still scary. Your Monkey King, Kongs is always there to play with, but you have to be sure that you can follow through, and it does feel like they really need this Athos on Sacred. Without that Athos, he's just not joining in. You are basically playing almost a 4v5 for the most part here.
You are now top of the net worth board on that TA, by the way, John. Really starting to catch up. The car's right behind him, but very close affair between these two teams. Do you kind of favor either pos one here in this matchup? Like between the Monkey King and the TA, do you feel like one has an inherent advantage as you get later on in the game?
Tough to say. TA might just have it a little bit better in terms of equal itemization because you can just consistently hit from further away, but the Monkey King vision, mobility is also a massive threat that you can't really quantify in a very clear manner. It is very strong. I'd lean towards the Monkey King just slightly, but I think it's a rather even late game matchup if it does go that way.
Radiant are scanning.
You go bot lane, smoke out, Thunder Awaken. They'll find Leslau and MSS down, hanging around, trying to farm up that lounge camp, but they do get caught out. MSS trying to help, and here comes the main gate as well with the backup from Sacred into the pit of Malice, and even a boundless strike, catching out Varda, but they'll leave him be. They've got Leslau and MSS, and now they'd love to rush into the triangle and back Varda. I thought he was out. Not quite, John. He runs back into the triangle and does get caught by Pakaz. Another double kill for the Monkey King. Now even mid lane. The chase is on now for Quinn. The Lone's trying to get in range for the lasso, but can he make it? Nice step away from Quinn the other way. Stuns are there though, Quinn. We're trying to find a way out. The balance not going to land, but the fire blast is there. Still the lasso, never going to come out from Alone. He just wasn't within range. Now the heroes have respawned up Soniqs. They want to try and make a play here, at least on the Matthew. They'll find a Zeus for their trouble. Still overall a pretty big win for Thunder Awaken. Soniqs, at the very least, don't lose too much.
Yeah, they mitigate their losses. They allow Quinn to kind of back off. They're forced to drag in pretty much all their heroes down mid to kind of stave off that aggression. Thunder Awaken is just going to go gun down the top tier 1. No problems. It was on 1 HP. And still no opportunity for a push from Soniqs. I think that's the one thing holding them back. Is Thunder Awaken are just able to run around a map. Now with the tier 1 taken, they have pretty good control in the top forward jungle. You've got the Desolator up and running on your war. This could be the moment where they start to gun for Roshan.
They toss out. Bit of Malice is there. They've got the Broom Master locked down, but Leslau, he's got the Primal Split, so he'll pop it. It just won't amount to anything. And a completely whiffed here by Leslau, just preemptively making sure they're ready for the team fight, but with that Soniqs, they will have to back off, and if you're Thunder Awaken now, you know the split's down. You may as well smoke up and go again.
They will. Instant smoke out. They're going to have Thunder God's Rat in about 5 seconds, so they can just scout out, and again, Fiend's Gate in about 10. So we could maybe see that cheeky combo come out, but might not even be necessary.
Wrap around here from Thunder Awaken. Die jungle. Soniqs, they may not be expecting this, but they do hug that mid-tier 2 tower, just preemptively. Sure they're ready for the gank attempt that is incoming.
Middle tower is under attack.
Thunder Awaken. So far, unable to
Dire's
find anyone.
structures are fortified.
More lines being drawn out towards that dire triangle, but kind of hard to get there. As the smoke does
Dire's
end up
middle
wearing
tower
off, and
is under attack.
now Soniqs, they do know exactly where Thunder Awaken are.
Dire's middle
Problem is,
tower
mid
has
tier 1
fallen.
tower, gonna drop now, and
Radiant's
Thunder
bottom
Awaken
tower is under
really
attack.
just not being contested whatsoever with the defense of that mid tier 1. Soniqs, they'll see Panda. They see Matthew as well. Decent avalanche onto the Ogre, into the toss back onto Yawara. Panda will drop. They find something.
Yeah, not the biggest kill in the world, but they need every single kill they can get here on Soniqs to slow down that aggression from Thunder Awaken. And that should cut them off from getting aggressive. Pakan's still on the chase here.
Yeah, that he is. Orchid's out now. Rod of Atos follow up there from Sacred, and that'll be Leslie to drop. This is one of those things, right? Like these little kind of trades that are happening across the map, they're just not favoring Soniqs. Like you get the pos 5 Ogre, but then you give away your pos 3 Brewmaster. It's just not great news at all.
Definitely isn't. And we've seen again Leslie
Radiant
forced to
are
use the
scanning.
split just to get away from dicey situations. They're not able to play around that teamfight spell. Look at his position out from Pakaz, scouting out with a scan, giving the information as to where Soniq's at, and an immediate smoke out from Thunder Awaken. They've got a good flank here.
Yes, he's in position to break the smoke as Alone is going to rush forward. They see the Tiny. Not quite the kill they would have liked, but they'll take what they can get. They'll secure it. Soniqs, though, they're jumping in for a team fight. Cars, he was caught for a moment, but there's your lasso now. Onto the Brewmaster. Leslie, unable to get the split off in time, and Soniqs, they give away even more deaths here to the side of Thunder Awaken. Again, not great news. It just felt like they weren't on the same page with that team fight attempt, and well, if you can't get the split off, that's all your team fight just down the drain.
Just disappears. I mean, we're not at the point where Quinn can kind of dance around him just yet. He's going for the BKB first over the Ags. You don't have that AoE silence to maybe give yourself some more control. And that does make it a lot tougher to play without the Brewmaster. The good news here for Soniqs is that the War's farm is lining up. He's going to have the BKB on the TA. But I'm just surprised Soniqs aren't able to even try to threaten for Roche. Like, look for a pickoff, go into the Roche pit. Hasn't happened despite having that Deso on the TA. And Thunder Awaken is allowed to have control over that pit area. They've got their bodies there. They've got, again, still that good forward vision from their ward right by the ramp on the top part of that jungle. They just know
Radiant's
when
bottom
Soniqs
tower
would probably
is under
want to go
attack.
to the pit. And maybe now is the time when Sonic goes. They do disassemble the Dragonlance into BKB. They could feel safe enough to pop a smoke out, but MSS is 200 gold away from the blink. They could just wait for that.
Absolutely. Rotations coming in here. Thunder Awaken heading down towards the bot side as you see how confident Bakaz is on the Monkey King, just looking around, trying to find himself a target. Won't quite find what he wanted. Top lane, Quinn. The Malice is going to land, but the follow-up is not there for Quinn, so he'll be just fine to astral step TP out unless... Woo! Bakaz, he had the right idea, but just
under attack.
the execution wasn't quick enough there from the Monkey King, so Quinn going to be fine to get out. Still 16-9, 2k advantage here to the side of Thunder Awaken. You do have the
Dire's
highest net
top
worth in the
tower
game
is
being
under
Yawara on the
attack.
TA, but he's just not at a stage where you feel like you're really scared of this guy. He still seems very susceptible.
Dang, the BKB helped a ton, but I'm honestly not sure why they don't try to go in with that BKB Deso. Maybe they want to blink up on top to be able to gap close. They're going to lose their out
Dire's
for
bottom
Roche.
tower is
And
under
Thunder
attack.
Awaken do go into the pit first. Got the damage, you can't deal with it. We got durability on Sacred. Smoke out from Soniqs though. You should know something's up.
Here we go, Soniqs. They're going to try and find a way to fight this Roshan, but Roshan dropping rather low now. How do they make their way in? And we're there to break the smoke with the Ogre. Under, still going after Roshan. Where do they go in? Soniqs still thinking about it. Primal Split is there. They do find Matthew to get started. Wukong's command is out. Roshan still over MSS. He'll make the jump in. Aegis to cast. He's the one to pick it up on the Monkey King, but he's siphoned up with the Tornado. Sacred has gone down. Alone, trapped up, is going to drop as well. They got Roshan, but it cost them 4 heroes on the side of Thunder Awaken. And Soniqs now, Not such a big loss for them after all, Jonathan. They give the Aegis
Radiant's
away, but
middle
it's a
tower
hell of a lot
is
of
under
gold going
attack.
back their way.
And you can see that moment again on the replay coming up
Structures
here.
are fortified.
They get a good angle in. They manage to split outside. They try for the
Radiant's
steal,
middle
and they do
tower
miss
is
out.
under attack.
Because there's a little bit quicker on the fingers,
Radiant's
but
middle
it doesn't
tower
matter.
has fallen.
Clean up side of Thunder Awaken.
Dire's
Very
top
tight
tower
area for
is
them to
under
fight
attack.
in. And they just had no answer, no way of dealing with
Radiant's
Yuar.
middle
Because
tower is under
Gladful
attack.
ended early, they didn't have any way of just holding down that TA, and the damage is there. That's why I was wondering why Soniqs wasn't going yet. His Deso BKB for TA is massive at this point in the game, and it does kind of remind Thunder Awaken that they
Radiant's
do have a
bottom
couple of
tower
squishy
is
heroes
under
such as
attack.
Melt. Secondary life, they can still do a lot with it on Akaz, but they've got to play together as a team now. Soniqs are starting to shape up. That space given to Yuar, the investment's paying off much bigger than his Luna did.
Once again, Alice out. It is there to help out. They will make the jump in
Radiant's
immediately onto
bottom tower is
Bakaz.
under attack.
Keep in mind, you do have the Aegis still up here for the Monkey King, so no real threat of dying as we will just hold down the Warpine Raider.
Bros are owning.
Under Awaken. Very slight net worth lead their way. 24 minutes in, it's still just a very even game here. And look at that good Bosscraft for a
Dire's
moment,
bottom
John. My
tower is
God.
under attack.
Really dipped after that Roshan fight, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's one hell of a roller coaster once more here for Thunder Awaken. Still slightly favored, 51%. You know, they've got a very slight net worth lead.
50-50 now, John. Jinx.
Back to the start. It's alright. Who doesn't love a 50-50? Always fun.
Ironically enough, John, it didn't start 50-50 either. Ogre, it does get caught out. Onto Quinn, though, they've got the lasso. They have the damage. Void Spirit's still alive, will actually step down and reinitiate back in onto the Monkey King Bakaz. He's in the middle of everything. He's got the double life, though. That's one life gone. He should be able to find a second. They'll lock it down, but no, in comes the cavalry. Onto Yuar they go. He's popped his BKB for Tars. He's under siege, trying to fight back. They do find Quinn, but they lose the Monkey King. Sacred gonna try and back his way out now, the Underlord. Yuar wants to clean up on the TA. Should be able to do so, but no, in comes alone. On the Bat Rider, Sacred finally goes down, but he gets the run of Atos off in time. Alone, how does he keep this fight going? He won't. He'll try to back off. Matthew will do the same, but Leslau, right behind, will secure the killers alone. The only real survivor here for the side of Thunder Awaken. The Soniqs, they take another successful team fight.
They managed to get it going their way once more. Thunder Awaken just very awkward with the angles. They're not very well protected in the Monkey King until the BKB's up. Akaz needs to be able to save up for that. They've lost a lot of momentum now. And with the way Soniqs is playing, they're able to punish. They're ready for Thunder Awaken when they do go for these angles, these very wild angles. Like, the impact is there from Quinn, the early BKB on the Void Spirit's just been causing massive, massive issues. If they don't manage to jump on top with Alone and get the lasso off, the Void Spirit just gets to dance around. Even if they catch the Void Spirit with the BKB
Radiant's
running with a
bottom
lasso,
tower is under attack.
their output onto the Void Spirit isn't high enough. They have no follow-through hold through the spell immunity. It's still long duration BKBs. There's enough time for Quinn to still cause havoc in the middle of those engage.
Radiant's bottom
There
tower
is
has fallen.
MSS. Here that bot T1. You know, this game still just so close, but Soniqs gaining that net worth lead. Feeling a bit better about themselves now, and Yuar certainly looking a lot scarier here on this TA. Working on towards the Lincoln Sphere to really just be able to stop with this this Bat Rider lasso
Radiant's
coming in
bottom
every
tower
moment from
is
Alone.
under attack.
Deeper Cars, I mean, he's just trying to work on towards that BKB and just needs it so badly. It's quite interesting as well that he went for the Bloodthorn before the BKB came out, but
Scanning.
maybe just a little bit overly confident here on the Monkey King.
Radiant's
Kind of
bottom
punished
tower
for it
is
though
under
as
attack.
Soniqs. That'll be the boss
Radiant's
tier 2 tower to
bottom
drop
tower
here
has
for them.
fallen.
No contest from Thunder Awaken, and it's right into the outpost here for Soniqs.
They've managed to plot its game into their advantage now. 3k lead their way.
Top tower
TA
is under
is
attack.
reaching its zenith. Yeah, this is the
Bottom
highest
tower
point
is
for
under
her
attack.
power. It's going to take a lot longer now for the Monkey King to kind of catch up in its own spike. There is room to grow on everyone else, though. Maybe not the Underlord. That's kind of the more restricted hero in this game here for Thunder Awaken. Scaling, it does feel like it plateaus a little bit harder nowadays, but Bat Rider can still go for, say, Octarine down the line. Ag's upgrade's good. Refresh is good. If they manage to drag it out. I don't know if Soniqs is going to give them that opportunity. Thunder Awaken's been playing a little bit more passive now, just because they've lost the past few fights, but with the BKB flying out to Pakaz now, this could be the opening. Just having that spell immunity could change the course of the game, and that might allow them to take this one back. But they have to play it smart. Side of Soniqs has been working together as a unit well, and off the back of Quinn just hopping around on that Void Spirit, it's been too much to handle, along with the splits coming out from Leslau.
Certainly has been Leslau doing a fantastic job throughout these team fights. Annoying against the double split of the Brewmaster. One of those Ags, like, just seems so powerful, right? It's been around for quite a while now, but just the fact that you get those double charges, and then Refresher Orb just allows you to have 4 charges, it's just kind of silly. Then naturally you can get a Refresher Shard later on from Roshan to have 6 charges. Just, nothing wrong with that. Seems perfectly balanced to me. Soniqs, they would love to get into a position where they do have those 6 charges. I'm gonna have to wait out this pause first before we do get to see something of the sort. Suppose they could force a fight mid lane right now. They do see Panda. Just be a nice quick pick off for them if they do wish.
I feel better
I think
already.
Thunder Awaken
This
will be
was over
quite in
before it
position
started.
to try and force a fight here if they do make the jump on the Ogre, and they might just take the free kill here. No, never mind, they won't. Not feeling confident enough.
They play it safe. They've got the lead. They don't want to fall into any bait plays that Thunder Awaken might want. But Thunder Awaken will smoke. See if they have the angle to come in from behind here.
They've got the BKB up on Pakaz now, John, so they want to go for the surprise reveal. Lone. The Firefly into the lasso, right onto Leslau. They want the Brewmaster gone before the split comes out, and they've got him. Great start here for Thunder Awaken. MSS also being caught out of the Tiny. Should just drop, but a nice force snap is there from Varnas to Pakaz, getting tossed in right into the side of Soniqs. Does get the Wukongs, but it is cancelled immediately. Yuan looking to clean up, does move in. Leslau, the split is out to try and catch some other heroes around, and Sacred somehow gets out of there through the Fiend's Gate. He only had to really catch up the Ogre. We'll take him down eventually. Soniqs, couple of buybacks being committed there, but they do make the team fight end up working out in their favor.
And that's very sneaky coming out from MSS to get the toss back onto Fata, force out the Wukongs, and then immediately force staff him out of the Wukongs. Without that additional armor, Monkey King is a sitting duck to the output of your war. It's way too much minus armor with the Meld and the Desolator. He needs to be able to plant himself in the center of that Wukongs, and it's not the easiest game to get that done with a Tiny and enter the Force Staff. Soniqs take the opportunity to clear out mid. 2 tier 2s down now for the side of Thunder Awaken. Could be a massive push for Soniqs if he want to commit, but they played it safe. They back off, they don't tempt fate. Respawns are short for Thunder Awaken. So they'll just keep building up this lead and keep shutting down the map for Thunder.
Absolutely. Such a big lead now for this TA, and while that last team fight, it did cost them quite a few buybacks, but it doesn't really matter too much. It's all about these wins, and that was the BKB reveal as well, don't forget, on Pakaz, that just never really amounted to much. Last team fight. What Thunder Awaken want to try and do now, Soniqs, they're the ones to back off and retreat and just buy themselves a bit more time to keep that farm going. No need to rush.
Holy heck, you bros are owning!
Mid lane, Kaz will hang around, and there is going to be a smoke right behind him. He used the Monkey King as bait here, but Soniqs not taking the bait whatsoever. Just wait this one out. The Thunder Awaken, highly likely they are smoked right behind, but they'll go for a smoke of their own now, Soniqs. Around the Roshan pit they go. MSS with the toss up onto the Ogre. They do get a Malice up quite nicely here, but Quinn already finding Panda. The cars now trying to make a run away, but he's dropping so darn low on the Monkey King. Leslau just chasing him down and takes him out. Oh boy. Matthew, Over a run, but Fighters on the chase. Chan is up. They'll be able to throw up another one as Panda. He just brought back for this job, but he's going to be going right back to the graveyard as they even found Matthew. That'll be the Zeus gone. That'll be the dieback onto the Ogre. Good news for Soniqs, John. Roshan is up in 30.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nice, quick, easy rush for them to take. And Thunder, they were just in a very bad spot for that fight. They were in the low ground. Soniqs had a really good high ground. Smoke immediately breaks, and MSS just jumps down, gets the angle, gets disruptiveness in the fight. Thunder Awaken, they have to play perfectly around the monkey. That's their all-in play. You do have really good drag back with lasso, but it is your monkey that's mainly doing the damage right now. He needs to be able, Kaz needs to be able to just stand there, get the Wukongs, have everyone else distract, get the hold off, to keep them in Wukongs, and do the damage from there. But again, Soniqs just been playing so clean. They've been managing to hold back the aggression here in game 2. Roshan just absolutely melts the Yuwar's output. 3 shards on hand. Shards come true for Yuwar could be really nice here. And it does look like, yeah, he does pick it up. So you've got the silence on the traps. Even more to be scared of for Thunder Awaken. They might be forced to BKB in very awkward times, and the game just gets tougher and tougher. Again, if you were at equal net worth on the Monkey King, it does feel a lot more playable, but you're 4K behind. And, you know, you're more than 4K behind. About 5 to 6K behind, and that's an item and a half that Yuwar has over Pakaz. It's not something Pakaz can really deal with. That burst damage is just really right there physically.
Sonic.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Here you go. Up T2 tower. What? Very quick work of it now on the TA.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom
May not be willing to go
Radiant's
high ground
top
quite
tower
yet, but
is
they'll just keep
falling.
extending the lead that they've been making up here as Soniqs. Another smoke out. Kaz, he's spotted here by Yuwar. In they move already. It's just the TA, but look at the damage output. Oh, but Kaz is just gone.
For heresy.
Yuwar, he just jumps right in. He doesn't need his team done. Meanwhile, Sal,
Where are you going?
onto alone they go, forcing out the BKB. Instead they'll go after Panda on the Ogre. Take him out. He's gone. I'll tell you, John, that's a concerning sign. Like, Yuwar just jumps in and solos the Monkey King, basically. That is not a good sign whatsoever.
It really isn't, Mike, and you talked about how this could have been a very tough TA game for Yuwar. He's 9-0-8. Like, they never managed to catch out Yuwar, never managed to stop that farm. Thunder's big mistake was leaving that triangle alone, because that's where Yuwar was really just playing for at least 10-15 minutes past laning phase. Just managed to get all the farm in the world, and no one managed to stop it from Thunder.
Go T3 tower. SS trying to catch somebody out with a toss back, but might get there. What the damn Harpy Scout again, John. There it goes. Matthew, he'll take care of it. Soniqs, that'll be enough. Once again, they're just not willing to make a jump in and rush this game. More than happy to play it slowly, and that's fair enough. One team fight could turn this right back the way of Thunder Awaken, so Soniqs gonna pay respect to their enemies here and just give themselves a bit more time to again just keep that farm going. Maybe just wait for the Swift Link to be up on Yuwar before you get going once again. But for Thunder Awaken, it does give them a chance to try and figure out how to pull this game back their way, but considering the circumstances, it's a pretty rough affair for them. And just seeing Pakaz getting soloed like that on the Monkey King is a very concerning sign.
Yeah, it's something. He's gonna need. It's so awkward to try to build armor in the Monkey King, but it does feel like he's gonna need at least more stats here. He is going for the Basher for some more control to maybe deal with that BKB on Quinn and on Yuwar mainly. So let's see if he manages to find that in time. Age is still up for 1:40. Lots of time for Soniqs to kind of do what they want. Just control the map. 11k lead. For Thunder Awaken, I mean, you still have to deal with
Pakaz. He jumped in. The bait was lane though from Soniqs, and Pakaz forced the BKB TP up. He okay. In comes Soniqs though. They know with the BKB down, they can go for a fight immediately. And he's going to be okay, but I cannot say the same for Sacred, nor can I say it for Matthew. Gonna go for a heavily jump out. And oh, the Underlord's gone. Beansgate will be enough. In fact, Matthew, a man on the run, does finally get caught out. Just barely not making it down to the low ground. But somehow, they get their Underlord out of there, and so does the Ogre.
Yeah, they cut their losses. Not the biggest kill in the world for Soniqs to find, but they are still taking the initiative. They're the ones forcing these engagements, and Thunder Awaken's the one that's forced to run away with their tail tucked between their legs. They already have a refresh up here on Laslau now as well. So more charges in the split. Lots of impact for the Brewmaster to have in the middle of these fights. And Thunder Awaken, the angles to take these fights are just so limited now. Yeah, you've got this Basher up on Fakaz. He's trying to queue up the butterfly next for a little evasion. A little bit of armor from the agility can be useful, but it doesn't feel like he has the space to get that.
Nice jump in. Fakaz, doing just fine, but BKB is down for another 8 seconds. He hasn't got the time. Fakaz, he's going to balance strike and try to run. Stick charge up. Maybe he has got time, but no. Oh, he gets taken out. Great initiation by Quinn. Or even find Panda move. Eventually Leslau will have his way with him. Really nice initiation, and Bakaz, he was 8 seconds off his BKB timer. Oh, they found another. They're on to the Underlord now with a great toss back by MSS. Sacred God.
Yeah, it's really awkward for Thunder Awaken. I think all their play is really just stuck on Batrider initiation right now. They don't have the angle to take the Underlord.
With this Matthew being annihilated there by Quinn. MSS having to look for a bit more in the tree line, but finds nothing. So without the Monkey King buyback, Soniqs, they can just keep going high ground here. Another 30 seconds without the MK and 45 without the Underlord. Plenty of time to get some damage done.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's
There's the
bottom
primal
barracks
split.
are under
As well, the backside is Panda. Already get caught out. Matthew, he will get cycloned up here by Leslau. Waited out a little bit as the force laugh heavily jump is there. Can't get the damage off the fact now. Yuan, nice lasso into the fountain. He's gone way too deep.
barracks are under attack.
You do find the TA.
Radiant's bottom
That all means the push does come to an end as they just don't have the damage without it. Oh, they found Quinn. Cars. Boundless Strike was there in time. Quinn, he's very low on mana right now. He has to do the old-fashioned way and just walk, but alone. He's gonna be there. Maybe no lasso off, but it won't matter. It's sacred. Even Bean skating in. Quinn still trying to run, but is eventually gonna get caught out. Under Awaken, they lose their bot lane of barracks, but they do punish quite heavily for the side of Soniqs.
Yeah, you don't feel too bad about that for Thunder Awaken. Could have gone a lot worse. Getting that kill on Yuar actually gives him a little bit of breathing room. It's not quite enough to turn the tide of the game, but it's a 3.4k net for swing their way. And that could be some key items coming out. Not quite enough for Pakas to get the full butterfly up and running, but Alone does have his own
Dire's
refresh
middle
there
tower
at
is
the
under
ready.
attack.
Force staff coming up next, and they've got the room to push in. Tier 2 to clear out on the mid. You could try to go onto the high
Dire's
ground,
middle
maybe
tower
force at
has
least
fallen.
one buyback here, but I don't think you mind too much losing a Rax on the side of Soniqs, because you still have tier 2s guarding the side lanes. You're not going to get Mega anytime soon.
Right, Under Awaken. This feels like this is something they shouldn't be able to get away with considering the stance of the game, but
Dire's middle tower
they are going to
has
get
fallen.
themselves a mid-racks for free here.
Dire's middle
Great
barracks
news.
are under
If you are a Thunder
Dire's
Awaken
middle
fan.
barracks has fallen.
Onyx, they'll just watch all this happen. Yuan now, though, is back up, so maybe they can force a jump in on the Sacred. Just going to be very cautious not to give any kills away. It'll be enough, but you see Thunder Awaken, they're waiting. Hoping somebody gets too close to the edge. It's going to find nobody, though. Onyx, they're going to smoke up. Try and force the
Dire
fight.
are scanning.
Wins up in 3. Doing his team very, very fast as Soniqs.
This'll come in handy.
They'll smoke into their triangle.
Nothing will stand in
Snap
my
around the
way.
long way, around the Roshan pit. Awaken, they're already hanging around that Roshan. Do get first dibs on the Roche. Alone. Blink out. As Val very confidently trying to rush in. Bit of Malice already being dropped here by the Underlord and Soniqs. Or at least not going to allow Thunder Awaken to take a free Roshan. They are going to hang around the area, and they are still the stronger team. It's going to be all about who gets this Roshan first. And I mean, if you get the next Aegis, you are certainly looking to go high ground.
That opens it up for either side to possibly look at the end game. There's a free Ags blessing in there as well. So a lot to play for in the next
Radiant's
Roshan.
middle tower
Where
is under
Soniqs
attack.
always has that bot lane shoving in, a huge creep army working onto the tier 4. No one from Thunder Awaken kinda interested in playing the defense game here, so chip away.
Yuan's being caught here. He's got a double master opportunity, and he will throw it out immediately onto the TA.
Oh my god.
He's got buyback on this TA, but he might need to come in. He will immediately. He needs to get back into this team fight. Mana, turn on the Sacred. He'll try and put the Unlord's Quinn. Will have the damage up to take him out. The cars. Well, he's thinking about the Wukong's command. He won't throw it out yet. He's waiting for that right moment of Sacred. He's brought back as well, but he's right back into the arms of Yuan. Oh, it's going to be a buyback immediately. He's not careful. Nice force stuff away though as they find Father instead. Yuan, he can't afford to die. He'll force stuff out of there. The car's now in danger. He'll pop his beak him in Yuan. He's been caught out. He's gone. Oh boy, that's a buyback with Yuan. More buybacks flying out here from Soniqs. They've brought out Father once again on the Enchantress. Win, gonna dump back in. On the Bakars, a nice stun up onto the Unlord Sacred. He's going to die back as well. Panda with the buybacks from Bakars. He's still trying to force the fight, but he's gone now. Oh, what a team fight coming out. Soniqs somehow making that one work.
Yeah, and that's a big win for Soniqs. And there was a lot of back and forth, lots of buyback being forced out. You don't have a buyback on your Monkey King either. And you can take a look at that topsy-turvy fight as Roche goes away with Soniqs here. The patience coming out from Haas to get that Wukong sound, finding that dieback war if it's huge, but then Quinn just manages to bounce back in the middle of it. And Leslau just completely ignored the Brewmaster. He manages to get the chain control necessary to kind of clean up there.
It was a crazy team fight, and of course that is going to let Roshan go the way of Soniqs. Alone on the Bat Rider was trying to intercept and intervene. And this is the turning point for that fight. Quinn just jumps back in with a 3-man stun. That level 25 talent simulate the massive stun set up there from Quinn, and really just cleaning up the fight here for Sonic. Suddenly, I mean, this game, it's just anyone's game. Sure, there's an 18k net worth lead for the side of Soniqs, but it feels like it just goes either way.
Yeah, you've got a lot of counterplay here on Thunder Awaken. It's just that cheeky lasso back into Fountain, but honestly, if they could do that to your war, you could probably stall this out again. You're only 1 racks down, even though it's an 18k up. Your respawn on your buyback was Monkey King's lining up the dieback on your war. So it's an even state despite that 20k. Obviously a little bit easier for Soniqs to play, but Thunder Awaken aren't completely gone. And if you do drag this game on for say 20 minutes more, 30 minutes more somehow, you have the potential for growth on the supports, and that's where I think it gets interesting. Because Matthew could just go full-on Zeus Core-ish build, Octarine, refresh Ags down the line, spam out all the spells at the same time. Fata can also just be a semi-core Ench, which he kind of already is with a Hurricane Pike and the Lotus Orb. He's just doing a lot of damage, tossing out the impetuses, and Soniqs will go for the smoke play. DD up in your war. Could just melt someone if you're not careful.
I know. I mean, if they can win this fight, John, it's straight onto the high ground, and that could be game. How many buybacks left on the map? There's only one available for Thunder Awaken right now, and that is going to be the Bat Rider, of course. Oh, I think was the only one not to go down in that last team fight.
Use the might under these.
Cool. Soniqs not going to find the team fight initiation they wanted. We'll have a look around on the west side of the map, but just finding nobody they can actually make a jump in on. After Awaken, they'll just hold on the high ground of their own base. We just hope Soniqs makes a mistake here. Soniqs, again, they're not in any kind of rush to force high ground, even with the Aegis up on Quinn. Just being very patient, hoping Thunder Awaken comes down off the high ground, but They certainly aren't moving. Not quite yet. Alone, he'll go for a split push down a bot lane. Quinn makes a jump in. To the Zeus they go, but Matthew going to be fine to heavily jump and force staff away. Look around for Alone, but he's also just TPing out of the Bat Rider. So against Soniqs, kind of forced to go high ground if they want to force the fight. Awaken have finally left the base, but only where Soniqs aren't staying completely away from the Dire team. I wonder, do you force the fight before this Aegis expires?
You'd want to. It's a minute 40 for the Aegis, but at the same time, waiting for it to expire isn't the worst thing in the world, because you'd want to maybe have buyback off cooldown for UR anyway, which lines up with the Aegis timing. So you can afford to go either way. Pekaz?
Jump in, Quinn. Off the mark for now, but still chasing the Monkey King. Able to find him, but Pekaz just too quick with the tree dance, and eventually again gonna TP up. All about keeping those lanes pushed out for now and making Soniqs really work to get to that high ground. Even more time here for the MK.
They've got enough gold for buyback now in Pekaz, but he's trying to go on to the Scotty next. So let's see how he kind of prioritizes that gold build up here. Soniqs, I mean, we're at the point where you're pretty much fully slotted in your war. The only thing you could maybe ask for is the Swift Blink. He is working towards the Lincolns for protection from the lasso. That's been a big part of how Thunder Awaken has been taking some of these fights. Just that single target control we're seeing from Alone. He finds his target, laser focused onto it, just pulled him back. And the Lincoln should be able to interrupt that. Again, you don't quite have enough for the buyback plus that. As both sides just play a void. That should mean our Aegis expires, as you pointed out, Mike. So, probably just going to be a little bit more of a waiting game on to the next Aegis unless someone decides to commit outside here.
For now, nothing really coming of it. A refresher orb up on Pekaz now, so Wukong's command available. Well, BKB, more importantly, is also available here for Pekaz. Yuar just going for a Lincoln Sphere on his own side of things here on the T8. Aegis does end up going, but like you mentioned, John, the buyback will be up very, very soon here for Yuar, just 1 minute away. 24k advantage, but you're starting to get to that point of the game where these net worth advantages just may not matter. Everyone's just so farmed up.
Yeah. I think the one issue for Soniqs is as the game goes late, like late, it does become challenging to push high ground, Mike. That is a Zeus. Eventually, the gold for Ags will arrive, and then you've got the Nimbus kind of countering your push. So this makes that process a lot more painful than it should be. And of course, as it goes on and on, Matt, you might find a refresh, you might find an Octarine to simplify matters, and again, it just makes it a lot tougher for the side of Soniqs. We're at the point in the game where BKBs are just down to 6 seconds. So if you manage to live through that, if you manage to position yourself here, and Matt still has a lot of output on that Zeus, especially with shard up with a static field. 9% of current HP is nothing to scoff at with his spammy spells.
Absolutely not. Still very quiet here between these two teams. Just very, very tense kind of game. Nobody being caught out quite yet. And they're still looking around trying to find themselves a target, but they are doing a great job on Thunder Awakening of just completely staying away from Soniqs and just avoiding them altogether. See Alone top lane just constantly pushing out that creep wave. Really abusing the ninja gear he does have to go unnoticed all the time. Say unnoticed, he does make the jump in. They've got Quinn with the lasso, but Yuan's there to help out. Now the double lasso is there. Onto the Void Spirit. They get something for their trouble. A very risky play from Alone, but it certainly pays off. You might find the Ogre now, but it's not going to be a great trade whatsoever here for Soniqs. And here comes the cavalry. Beatrice was placed down. They're going to climb for this team fight. Say group a bit of balance, but have they gone to their death tier? Oh, maybe they did not realize that Soniqs had their whole team around.
Not
Do kind of feed kills back the way of Team Soniqs as MSS trying for one more. Would chase down Matthew. I really keep up with him, but Leslau will try to catch up. Well, they won't make it though. The spinelings on Matthew allow him to get away. So they had a great start catching out Quinn. They do force a buyback on the Void Spirit, but they give 2 kills back the way of Soniqs now.
Yeah, it's probably not the biggest kills to bleed out from Thunder Awaken. I don't think you're too upset about losing your Underlord and your Ogre Magi, so still a lot to play with. You have buybacks in those heroes as well, not the biggest loss, and that does give them more options.
I think they saw him. You know he's around somewhere, but again, he's just so hard to catch. He'll BKB, just TP out. You are. Really, can't really hold him down, sadly. He does have that level 25 talent, but the meld was on cooldown.
Yeah. Not able to punish Pakaz for being a little bit too far forward. And this is the point now, Mike, which we were talking about for TA versus Monkey. This is really awkward because the itemization of Pakaz with a butterfly just makes it so that you probably isn't able to burst the Monkey King as fast as you'd like. Level 25 talent with a Wukong's command ring makes it hard to force staff, even just toss him away.
You go top lane, Yawar. He's going to be very careful. They think they've got Pakaz, but in fact they've got Yawar. BKB's been popped in time at the very least, but Pakaz with the Wukong's command going to hold him down. Yawar can't afford to die like this, but he is going to drop. He's got buyback though. He can rejoin the team fight if necessary. Quinn make his way in as well. Soniqs probably not the fight they want. Back out of there. We don't want to have to force the buyback out of this TA, but an immediate smoke now from Thunder Awaken. You know, they've got the advantage and they want that buyback committed. Quinn, he doesn't have a buyback if they can catch him. It's Awaken moving right in, has found MSS. They do have the time to make the jump in on, and they will do so. Noir still holding on to that buyback, not committing quite yet, but MSS is going to drop. Leslau now trying to fight back. In goes Quinn. MSS is finally gone. Now the buyback's being committed. Noir and MSS committing, both of them as they try to make their way back into the team fight. But is anyone going to be left to go after? Sacred, still dropping. Is going to go down. That's one. He even found the Ogre. 2 buybacks committed. You got the Ogre, you got the Underlord. Not the greatest of finds here for Soniqs, but it's still something. Thunder Awaken, though, might be pretty happy with those buybacks committed.
Yeah, that should give them an advantage if they do manage to find Yawar, and now Soniqs are going to be forced to try to go for the Roche. Thunder Awaken are bailing out from the area. This could still be a fairly quick Roche for the side of Soniqs, with the Trap Vision giving them the information. Full deck of tools on Roche, Refresh Shard, Ags blessing up, and it doesn't take too long. Thunder Awaken forced to surrender that. Or maybe now Soniqs can gun for the high ground. A lot easier to get that done. I'm wondering who they pass this free Ags to. Probably War could be really nice. Passes the Refresh along. And does shoot the Axe. So you've got that split push that can come out from your War, and just keep lanes fully shoved in, or fully shoved out with the silent projection up. And that makes him a lot slipperier. You still have the double lasso. I think that's been your best bet here from Malone. But anything outside that, your War should be able to just BKB and silent projection out. Very balanced.
Certainly so, John. Certainly so. He bees into the mid lane. Soniqs smoke up again. I believe that was under creep vision, so it'll be a very obvious smoke, but we'll head down towards the south. Thunder Awaken just going to back their way out immediately and just try to get back towards the base, and they'll be fine to do so. Cars, he's still there down at the bot lane, but highly doubt he gets caught out here. He'll be fine to also TP out, and again, Thunder Awaken is doing a very good job of avoiding Soniqs altogether, not wanting to fight into that Aegis of Yawar. Again, I believe the smoke was kind of obvious, though. I believe it was spotted by the creep, so, you know, maybe a bit of a slight error there.
Yeah. Just giving just a hint of vision out does allow Thunder Awaken to adapt. You have the Octarine up and running on Quinn. that lower cooldown on the jumps with the Astral Step, the Resonant Pulse, it's all getting really annoying in these prolonged fights. Extra spell use is coming out for him on that Void Spirit. 27k lead still stands for Soniqs. So one should expect a move to be made, but they are respecting Awaken as they have for almost the past 20 minutes. It feels like they've been at this stage.
Go, let's now. Pop the first primal split. Keep in mind, he doesn't have a refresher or bump, so plenty of chances to go. Slowly taking the tier 3 tower as it's a very nice bounce back on the Sacred. In goes the jump in, but Khan, what a massive balance strikeout from the Monkey King into the Wukong's command. Oh, they've already found the PA. At least for the first time. Can they get the second? Abyssal Blade out. Last to hold it down. They should have the damage. And the beast got the control with Yawar. He'll fight back. Onto the Monkey King they go. The Cars in trouble now in the MK. He might just drop. He can't find a Boundless. He is gone. And trying to run. Surely goes down here as the buyback is there from Bakan. The cross back MSS. Force the BKB out from the Monkey King. Wukong's command out once again. Onto Yawar he goes, but Yawar will make a run out. They might just reinitiate right back in his father. He will drop it Leslau. He'll just keep the fight going. We're waiting for that Wukong's command to end. Eventually it will. They catch out the alone Baron Rider now. MSS makes a jump in, but a Boundless strike once again on the two heroes. That'll be MSS gone this time around. Alone, surely goes and does win. He'll get the job done. More buybacks flying at his Pakan. He can't afford to die right now, but he's a sitting duck. Surely take it out, and he will be. No +1 to the side of Thunder Awaken as they'll lose Panda Mill as well. Onto the tier 3 tower they go here, Soniqs. It's been a long, rough game, but perhaps they forced the tiebreaker they wanted. Sonic take down the tier 4s and it's on to the Ancient. That should be it, Jonathan. Surely a GG call's coming. Win. Make a jump in. Lasso is there. Maybe they can drag him back into the fountain. Not quite. Win. We'll just keep going. Keep fighting them. Force the diebacks, and that'll be it. A nice game number 2 here between these two teams, but it will end up in a draw. Soniqs, they make it work. What a game it was, John.
That was a lot of back and forth coming out from both sides. Soniqs playing a really great game this time around.